Greetings. Let's explore binding. There are two types of binding, selection binding and result binding. So we'll see the difference between the two. So this video is going to focus on selection binding. I'm logged into Salesforce CRM Analytics, and within the Analytics Studio, I'm inside the My DTC Sales app. Once I'm here, I'm going to click on Create Dashboard. We'll start with the blank dashboard. What I want to do is just drag a very simple chart. And then I'm going to select the DTC opportunity, data set, change the count of rows to sum of amount, and then I'm going to change the bars to industry. Okay, then click on done. Okay, so now what I have is I have a static chart which only analyzes the amount by industry. If I want to change it to account type, segment, stage, there's so many dimensions I want to analyze this data by. So in order for me to do that, I'll have to use a concept called binding. Okay, so in order for us to do that, let's first click outside of this widget and let's create a custom query. So click on create query, create custom query, and the first value is industry. Next is segment, and then third is account type. Now on the second column, you want to select dimension and change it to DTC opportunity. Let's relabel it to group by, and let's select corresponding values. I'm going to select industry, segment, account type. Okay, these are the labels and these are the API names. These are the names that the computer uses. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this static and place it over here. Okay, so now I have a static. Let's make sure that one of the values is always selected on this static. So click on the static, go to query, and change the selection type from single selection to single selection required. Now click on preview. When you do that, you'll notice that I can toggle. Of course, the toggle has no impact yet on this chart. So that's what we want to fix next. So the way to do that is by clicking on the chart, go to Advanced Editor, and let's first clear out the column map. I'm going to search for column map. So you can do Control F or Command F depending on the computer you're using, and search for column map. And let's collapse all of the rows within column map. When you do that, what happens is all the rows are collapsed, and you can select the beginning and the ending row and delete. Okay, that's under widget. We'll do the same exact thing under query. Command F or Control F to search for column map, collapse the column map section, and delete. And when you delete, you want to pay attention to if there's a comma for the last item, right? When we deleted, before we deleted, the column map was the last item in this multi-value list. Now that that's deleted, the show action menu becomes the last item, so we don't need a comma after that. Okay, so now we are done with the setup. Now let's go and create an interaction. So I'm going to go to query, select static. Now if you're unsure what static is, you can click on the preview. You will see this is the static we created, display and group by column. I'm going to select that, change the data to cell, row index is 0, and then the Row index tells you what is the default value you want. And then the column is group by because to display is just a label. You could have called it anything, but the system recognizes it by the system name or the API name. Okay. Now, once it's selected, you will see that this condition or query results in this value, and which is our very first value in our interaction, if you remember, right? The industry, but you want to be able to toggle between segment and account as well, depending on what's selected. And because it's based on the selection, we change the interaction type to selection. And now instead of manually copying it, what you want to do is you want to click on copy, make sure you are on query, and then let's search for two things. Okay, we'll search for order by and the main filter. So instead of order by being industry, select that, delete it, leave the double quotes in, and then paste your interaction. Do the same thing for group by. Group by and order by are what we're changing. Deleting the string or whatever was your first value and paste the interaction. Once you've done that, click on save. If you get an error message, it's likely you have deleted something or made some minor error in the JSON. So you can just simply undo the change and start over. Okay. Now that you have the interaction, let me click on preview. So now I'm on industry, which is the default chart format. When I click on segment, you notice that the y-axis changes to segments. So I've got my small business, enterprise, and so forth. And when I click on account type, and the account type. So this is how you create a binding. Okay, I'll see you in the next video to discuss result binding. This was selection binding. Thank you.